Hi Whovians, Harry here, and welcome to my review of the third and fourth episode of the new Doctor Who spin-off, The War Between the Land and the Sea. The episodes The Deep and The Witch of the Waterfall, and these episodes were insane. But before we get into my thoughts about it, don't forget to subscribe, but also leave a like and comment down below, and let's get in to the video. So, of course, this episode opens up really tense right off the gate because there is a scene between, of course, Barclay and his ex-wife and his daughter, where basically his daughter is going off at him, but it's just because she doesn't want anything terrible to happen to her dad. She doesn't want him going under on this, underwater mission to meet the Sea Devils. So, yeah, it's a tense opening right off the gate with just a lot of layers happening, and it only gets more tense, of course, with these people, actually Barclay and General Austin Pierce from Torchwood Children of Earth, Ted Campbell, Captain Louise McKee, Ravi Singh and Minso, all of them, as well as Barclay, of course, entering onto this underwater mission to meet Salt and the rest of the Sea Devils, and it is just really tense because they're in a small confined space going deeper than anyone else in human history has ever gone before, and it's just, yeah, it's insane. Just literally going on this mission, just taking the first steps even before they get into the sea, because it is tense from the very get-go, because they have to, of course, make sure everything is okay for them. And yeah, it's just amazing, of course, what these characters, if it was, of course, real life, what that they would go through to get to this. Not only the changing from land to sea, the change in temperatures the further down you get, and yeah, of course, there's panic in the there's panic, of course, from all the characters when they go deeper and deeper down into their meeting with the Sea Devils or Homo Aqua, because, of course, every movement, every shake, every sound just grows the tension and the fear more and more. And yeah, there's quite a few freakouts, mostly from Ted Campbell and Ravi Singh, but they're brave, and you might not expect that when they're freaking out, but brave isn't the same thing as being fearless. Brave is about doing something that terrifies you, but still going through with it. So, Ravi, not Ted, because I'll get to why not him later, is maybe the bravest out of all of them. Of course, Barclay was also thrust into an ambassador role, so of course he has a similar bravery scale, and of course all of them are doing a job that they didn't think that they would have to do when this whole Homo Aqua ambassador stuff started, which makes it something new and different for everyone involved. And they finally do get down to the Homo Aqua base where where Homo Aqua has prepared it for them, where they are in it's kind of stated to be almost like a living entity, but with a environment at the bottom of the ocean where it is perfect for humans. It's the right temperature, they can breathe in there. It's just insane that Homo Aqua are so much ahead of humans that they can create a entirely different ecosystem under the water, which is, again, it's crazy. And when they're moving through to where they are having this ambassador meeting take place, there is another moment between Salt and Barclay, where it is just those two and they can fully express their emotions. And of course, it's later paid off in the next episode that there is definitely something between them. But we get this little moment with them where there is obviously chemistry between them, and would they potentially kiss? What is happening with this relationship? There is definitely something there with them, which is explained more in the next episode. But yeah, there we see the little glimpse of it more in this little scene in episode 3. So of course, when they eventually all of them get to the Sea Devil Ambassador meeting spot, there is a hell gang of Homo Aqua and Sea Devils waiting for them, and as Barclay says, this is what it must have been like for Salt and the other Homo Aqua when they entered, of course, into the building where, of course, Unit and Humanity had, of course, had their meeting with Homo Aqua. So, of course, it's already a complete culture shock because you are going from one... Because it looks so familiar to what you know, the ambassador meeting, but it is so alien and different as well, with it all being Homo Aqua people. And this is when we get Ted at his most tense. Now, at the start of this episode, he wasn't too fearful. It was only once they started really going down to the Sea Devil base, once they got further and further, that he started getting more terrified. And that is because his gift to the Sea Devils, like they gave him a gift earlier in the episode, earlier in the 2 previous episodes, of course, Humanity gave them a gift, and they received a gift for the ambassador meeting on dry land, and the same thing is happening, but of course, at the bottom of the sea. And it's revealed why Ted is so tense, because he is actually kind of like a suicide bomber in a way, because the globe that he is giving to the Homo Aqua kind is actually a bomb, with Barclay realising this kind of too late, because he manages to knock it out of Ted's hand and down this waterfall, cliff, ravine, whatever it is, under the ocean, and it goes off. And yeah, unfortunately, every single character dies, apart from some of the Sea Devils in there, and also Salt and Barclay, which is insane. And to be honest, I didn't expect these characters to die. I definitely didn't expect the General from Torchwood Children of Earth to die, but there were unit operatives as well as non-unit operatives in this mission, of course. General Austin Pierce, Ted Campbell, Captain Louise Mackey, Ravi Singh, Min So, all of them just wiped out in the blink of an eye, with the only reason Barclay surviving was because instead of Salt saving some of her Homo Aqua, her own kind, she decided to save, Barclay, with them sharing a kind of kiss moment, but the one where, they're just breathing oxygen into their lungs to, so they won't die or pass out or whatever. So, they get their little moment there. But something that I definitely didn't expect to didn't expect to happen was a death of another main character. That's right, Colonel Ibrahim dies. At the end of episode 3, The Deep, it ends with a cliffhanger with Colonel Ibrahim taking a bullet that was meant for Kate Lethbridge-Stewart and him bleeding out in her apartment, because of course they are in a relationship. However, tragedy strikes when a shooter goes after Kate Lethbridge-Stewart, but ends up, of course, taking out Colonel Ibrahim. And then it is revealed in episode 4 at the start of that he didn't make it either, which is shocking. I never expected a main character like that to die, But again, it draws a lot of parallels to Torchwood Children of Earth, because in that series, the love interest of the main character died. Of course, in Torchwood Children of Earth's case, Yanto Jones died, who was the love interest of Captain Jack Harkness. And in this case, of course, Colonel Ibrahim dies, who is the love interest of Kate Lethbridge-Stewart. So, yeah, again, it's just insane with Kate kind of going darker than we've ever seen her before, which I will get to later in this episode, because that's kind of how this two-part, how episode 4 ends. So more on that a bit later. But, of course, all of this is a massive shock to the people. None of it more than Barclay, who saw 5 people killed basically right in front of him, and the only reason he survived was because Salt saved him. And because Salt saved him and didn't just swim off afterwards, they have imprisoned her, and they are, not letting her out or even letting Barclay see her, which drives Barclay to, once they get back on dry land, basically manipulate someone into letting him have ownership over the transport of Salt's cage with Salt in it to Unit, and he manages to set her free, and they both escape together. And of course, then we get another little scene of the Unit operative from the last 2 episodes, who has a little thing with Barclay. There is something between them, and everyone knows it, because even Kate Lethbridge-Stewart tells her to go after Barclay, because Barclay trusts her. So there is definitely something between them. So there's kind of almost like a love triangle, a love square? Or a love triangle, but with Barclay like in the middle, with this Unit operative, his ex-wife, and of course Salt, the Homo Aqua leader. And of course, with Salt saving Barclay and them kind of running off together, even the Homo Aqua kind are not happy with her, because we have another ambassador turn up, and he is not happy with the fact that Salt, in their eyes, has kind of abandoned her own kind. And he wants her returned so that they can exact their own punishment on her, which, of course, Kate Lethbridge-Stewart, who takes the place of the ambassador, with one ambassador basically being shooed away by the Sea Devils and the other ambassador on the run with the other Homo Aqua ambassador. Yeah, it kind of falls on Kate Lethbridge-Stewart to be ambassador, but she is in no state to do this, with the death of her lover literally just happening just a couple of hours ago, maybe. So yeah, it's definitely something tense and insane. Also, sorry if you can hear birds, but they're chirping again. So if you can hear that something in the background, it's them, the birds chirping. But moving on, we get a confirmation, actually, that Kate Lethbridge-Stewart has other family, at least a daughter. So maybe in the future her daughter will take Kate Lethbridge-Stewart's place if something happens to her in this series. Hopefully not. If something were to happen, hopefully it's just like natural causes, like the Brigadier, or it happens in the actual main Doctor Who show. But maybe there's a succession plan in play for when the inevitable time does come that Gemma Redgrave doesn't want to do Doctor Who anymore, that they can bring in the daughter of Kate Lethbridge-Stewart, and it's a bit more world building. And speaking of world building, we have Barclay and Salt on the run in war-torn London, basically, with them hiding out in a place that Barclay thought, might be empty. Unit has been to like this place before or something, and they have, of course, a little moment where where Barclay brings up his kiss, and Salt seems kind of like, like you call that a kiss, a bit sassy but a bit confused as well, and yeah, they just have little moments where they can also release some tension as well, just by screaming at the top of their lungs, just to release some tension of the craziness that has happened already in this spin-off, which is, yeah, they're just insane. But something that Barclay is shown to have a lot of intelligence and ingenuity as well, is that he remembers that he gave his daughter a secret phone so that when his ex-wife, when the daughter's mum looks at her phone, checks her texts, she won't see anything that the daughter doesn't want her mum to see. So he phones that, knowing that that unit will have probably not tapped that phone, which he is correct until, well, he might have been incorrect, or it might have been his ex-wife tells Unit that Barclay has got into contact with them, because when Barclay asks for the car so that they can get where they want to go, Barclay has a mate that can help them out. Unfortunately, Unit operatives have told the wife to do what he asks, but they're hiding in the background, waiting for him to reveal himself so they can bring him and Salt in. And unfortunately, it only gets worse, because yes, they are trapped by the unit operatives, but also by the British military, I think it is, or American military, or a mix of some militaries, where they want to capture Salt so that they can experiment on her and then find a way to destroy and kill all of Homo Aqua, which again is insane and only escalates the tension in this episode. And this is when we get some, well, anger, and just from Kate Lethbridge-Stewart, it just goes off the wall because she tells the unit operatives, after she learns that the military can take Salt dead or alive for this experiment, she tells them to, instead of focus on Barclay and Salt, to focus on the British military as well, or whatever military it is, the army, to fire on them on her command, which is insanity. But yes, once she learns that Salt can be taken dead or alive, she tells the unit operatives to aim their guns at the army because, well, yeah, it's, well, insane. But fortunately, it doesn't come to that. I imagine that the unit weaponry was set to stun, but it is still wildly off for a character like Kate Lethbridge-Stewart anyway. But Unit managed to get Barclay back into their custody, and Salt manages to escape, jumping off the bridge into the water, with the army not getting her, or Unit either. And that is where we leave it for the 4th episode of The War Between the Land and the Sea. Only one episode left, yes. Next Saturday is the 5th and final episode of The War Between the Land and the Sea. Yeah, this episode was tense. It was definitely a lot darker and a lot more grounded, even, if you can call it that, with the little Sea Devil humanity bubble. And yeah, it's a lot darker than Doctor Who. We're definitely more Children of Earth, Torchwood Children of Earth-like. But it's good. It's good. This is what we need from Doctor Who. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. How are you liking The War Between the Land and the Sea? Do you think it's good? Let me know what you most like about it, what you think they could improve on. But yeah, I think it is definitely taking a darker path and is good, I think. So, as I said, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like, also subscribe, and share it out. And we'll see you for the final episode of The War Between the Land and the Sea. See you then.